Hey, welcome to K Talks. This is episode 2. The guest that'll be joining us is the co founder and CFO of Xelpmoc Design and Tech Limited and the former CFO of Justdial. So let's welcome Mr. Shrinivas Koora. Hello, sir.
Hey, hi Kanika, very good evening and thank you for giving me an opportunity to be your guest this evening.
Thank you, sir. So I've heard that Xelpmoc Design and Tech Limited is a company based on AI and data science. So could you tell me more about it?
Yeah, so basically Xelpmoc Design and Tech Limited, when we have incorporated with the theme that okay, we would be developing artificial intelligence, data science and machine learning products for our portfolio companies. The idea was not to productize or not to do some sort of the services. What we were planning was there was that young generation coming with new ideas. So we thought that okay, we help them to build the product. Cause what was happening when we started in 2015, most of the entrepreneurs they try to build a tech team, and the moment they recruit a CTO and the technology team, they work for a couple of years, the companies end up issuing ESOPs, but down the line after 3 or 4 years, in case if the CTO moves out and technology team also moves along with him, so the founder is back to square one. So in order to address this problem, we thought that what we can do is we become their internal technology team. We build end-to-end product for these companies, and we build it for 3 years, because the idea was within those 3 years at least there will be two iterations, and meanwhile company will raise at least a seed round of funding or a series A round of funding. Post that, what can happen is they can have their own in-house team technology, and from there we can take it ahead. If you look at it, myself, I come from a background of finance, and my partner Sandipan Chettopadhyay, he was a CTO for Justdial. He comes from the technology background. So while I was there at Justdial, and while he was there as a CTO at Justdial, what we were doing is we were already mentoring couple of startups. He was mentoring more in terms of technology. I was mentoring companies more in terms of strategy, planning, the fundraising, how to grow companies. So we thought that instead of we doing on an individual basis, why not do together forming a separate company? So that's where the idea of Xelpmoc design came into our thoughts.
Okay. So basically, Xelpmoc provides tech solution to entrepreneurs or like young founders.
That's right. That's right. We started with that, but now what we are doing is we started building our own tech products,
Okay.
especially on the structured, unstructured data generation engine, and at the same time we are also building few products on the elder care side.
AI or data science, how does it help you in your work as a CFO?
So, Kanika, to be very frank, given our organization size and number of people, in case if you are asking me as a CFO, how AI will help me, uh, so there are certain tools with respect to financial functions. But let's suppose in case if you want to do any financial planning, or in case if you want to do any cash flow projections, etc., you have a lot of tools. But given the size of our organization, given the stage at where we are right now, we don't need to use any of the AI tools, or to that extent any cash flow management, etc. Yes, but what we use is we use our own in-house generated large language models, which can be for any sort of a analysis purpose, and this analysis as not as a CFO but more of a product side. So that's where we are. That's where I personally use AI currently, but not on the finance functional side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have worked at Just Dial for 16 years.
Yeah.
So what gave you the courage to find this company and start Xelpmoc?
Kanika, very frankly speaking, in case if you look at generations, multi generations in my family, everybody were entrepreneurs, everybody were doing business. Maybe
Okay.
might not be the uh, existing like the fancy stuff, but they were looking, so doing trading business, etc. In fact, I am the first person in my family for generations and generations to take up a professional job.
Okay.
Yeah, professional job. And again, since those genes were there in me, and apart from that, what I believe and what I feel is like, let's suppose, in case if you have a passion towards running something on your own, and where you are able to create employment, where you feel that key you can impact people's life, you should take a chance and you need to drive it. Because the reason being, what I feel is, let's suppose at the age of 60, post retirement, I should not regret that key, hey, I should have given a try, I should have tried it, etc. Because the reason being, what I feel is, if you want to go, when the age is on your side, if you want to do, if you want to take up any such things, it is better you take up at the right age and try it. In case if you are not successful again, you have an option to go back to the professional job. That's career, that option is always open to you.
Right.
So that's the key thing why I thought that key I should jump into this. And of course, my the team was also important. Like Sandeepan, I know him. We worked together when he wanted to start. I thought that key, that's a great opportunity, great idea of what we should be doing.
Okay. So, how was the journey initially when you started Xelpmoc?
Yeah. So the idea was, when we started, there were two thoughts towards it. One is how we can support the startup ecosystem. When I say startup ecosystem, both the sides. One is on the investment side, another one is on the technology or overall advisory side.
Right.
So we thought that we think, and it would be helpful for the entrepreneurs who are looking for such services, because we are there to help them introduction to investors, technology development, strategy, idea, product ideation, what works for the market, what does not works for the market. And the other side, what we wanted was, in those days it was very difficult for a retail investor to participate in the startup ecosystem.
Okay.
They can invest either uh, through known sources or through AIF. And AIF was also, the minimum ticket size was about 25 lakhs. And you know very well that key, how many people can afford to invest 25 lakhs. And a person who can afford to invest 25 lakhs is not a retail customer. And more importantly, the biggest challenge in the startup is, okay, today I have money and I want to invest. I have invested. But you never know when you're going to get an exit. You
Hmm.
never know when you're going to get an exit, because those are unlisted. So we thought that it would be a great platform in case if Xelpmoc can enter into a startup ecosystem, and where the retail investors can invest in Xelpmoc, and whenever they want to invest, they can invest whenever, because it's a publicly traded stock. They can exit whenever they want to. So with that, we started the theme and concept of Xelpmoc design and tech. And as you know that when you start any startup, the companies do pivot from one area to other area, depending upon the market condition,
Right.
external environment, etc. So the pandemic was one reason, and apart from that, the investment in the startup ecosystem has dried up. Then eventually what we thought was we should be having our own products, and that's where we started concentrating on our own in-house product for last couple of years. So that's the journey of Xelpmoc design and tech, and it's a very interesting and impactful journey. I would say, like, we are able to create something which is going to help, especially the one which we are focusing right now on the elder tech, or on the artificial AI tools like a docu X-ray,
Yeah.
where we can extract data from a structured, unstructured data, and a generation engine. Those are very, very impactful.
Right. So, since you've helped startups, you must have noticed younger generation or people who start startups might make some mistakes, right? Could you like tell me the mistakes usually people make when they start?
Yeah, the first and biggest mistake what I have seen is you are a passionate entrepreneur, no doubt about it. You are a passionate entrepreneur,
Hmm.
and you have built something. Truly, we appreciate for what you have done. But the what happens is they have a price tag to it. Okay, I am building something very very unique, and it's going to be a unicorn, and I want to raise funds at a X valuation, Y valuation, or a Z valuation. Please, what my message to those entrepreneurs is, yes, we truly appreciate what you have built, but in case if somebody is willing to invest in your company initially at the first round of funding, you should not be looking at what valuation that you are investing. Rather than you should appreciate that somebody is willing to bet on your idea. That's the biggest achievement for you. Somebody is betting on your
Right.
idea, trying to invest in a company and want to take it to a next level. Maybe you should not look at diluting at a very higher stake, but what is more important is you should appreciate that somebody is willing to invest in your company.
Okay.
And the second thing what I my message to them is like what I am seeing off late is like the trust factor and the business ethics has completely gone. Like somebody is betting on you and somebody is investing in your company, and down the lane after 6 months 8 months your passion has changed. Now you want to pursue something else. You are not even respecting that key investor has invested in your entity.
What do they do? Usually they change the whole track or
It can happen both the ways. It can happen like they will change completely. See, basically, what I suggest is, well, you have all the right, because what is more important in the startup ecosystem is like the intent. The first thing what is more important is what we look at is the entrepreneurs. In case if the entrepreneur has the right mindset, the product what he is thinking today might not work, and when he go to the market he might pivot and he might come out into a different product. That's absolutely
Hmm.
perfect. But be transparent to your investor. Let them be
Right.
part of your journey. Don't think that key okay now I don't want this investor. I am happy to take ahead like something else.
Hmm.
Be
Okay.
consistent. Be consistent. There is a possibility that things might not work, but uh, communicate with your communicate with your investors. Keep them informed. Take them into confidence.
So you will say that consistency and transparency is the key.
Consistency, transparency, and yeah, they're very important.
Hmm. Okay, so from investors, I have heard that you are an angel investor. So what does that term mean?
So basically, angel investors in the sense where you are investing in some entity at a very very early stage. For example, what happens is when Xelpmoc was investing or Xelpmoc was onboarding any startup, they were onboarded at a very early stage, idea stage, or they've
Okay.
already been into existence for 6 months or 1 year. Then we have entered. We don't enter where the company is already having a X amount of revenue generation and everything is in place. At a series A level or a series B level we don't enter. We generally enter at a very early stage.
So are there any other type of investors?
Yeah, you have there are a lot of types of investors. For example, you have angel investors, you have FIs.
Could you explain these?
So basically, the angel investors are the one who are generally the individual investors. These people
Okay.
invest in a friends, families, or early stage round, and these are majority are the retail investors. And the other type of investors that you have is the institutional investors. And institutional investors can be venture capitalists, private equity, hedge funds, and institutional guys. And at times you also have special investors, and these special investors are where corporate investors where it aligns with their business strategy.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's also one more early stage growth. We call it as the incubators, accelerators.
Okay. So what are incubators and
Uh, so, for example, incubators in the sense, let's suppose programs like Y Combinator that provide small seed fund, office space, and intense mentorship. Where let's suppose there are two or three people, they have an idea, they don't know how to go about it, and if they go and pitch, for example, even when they reach out to companies like Xelpmoc and they say that, hey, we have this idea, but we don't know how to take this ahead, and how do we take it to the next level, then what we do is, because any which way initially it is only the technology what you need to build, they have an idea, we help them in terms of building a technology. They can also work from our office space if required, and we mentor them, we help them in product ideation. So what we do is we handle them from a day one
Okay.
to fundraising, and from there they'll take it ahead. So I can say that key incubation is the first thing which starts, then comes the angel investors or the retail investors, then comes the institutional investors. And the final thing is, when you wanted to give an exit to these people, that's where you look at either merger and acquisition route or the IPO route. But majority of the people look at an IPO route.
So you have experience of long years. So out of all these years, what's one advice you would like to give me and the other people watching?
So, Kanika, especially the advice that I would like to give it to your teens is uh, the power of money and importance of time.
Okay.
See, in case if you start investing at the age of 20, even if you, let's suppose, if you invest about 5,000 rupees at age of 20, and if you invest till age of 30, and if you stop it, versus somebody is starting investing at the age of 30, and if that he or she is going to invest throughout their life till 60, the compounding and the timing effect would be the one where you started investing at the age of 20 and stopped at 30. That will give you an higher yield, higher income, compared to if you are starting at about age of 30.
Right. You're saying that we should start investing early.
Absolutely, this is one of the lessons the schools never teaches us. They teach us how the compounding, the essence of time, etc. But when do you need to invest, etc. They never teach you. I think that's the most important thing.
You also mentioned the value of time.
Yeah, because it's very very important. I'll give you the importance of time and how
Hmm.
it can be correlated, because I believe that, have you heard about this three bucket career strategy?
No, please enlighten me.
Yeah, three bucket career strategy is like, in your career path what happens is, you go through three different phases. One is the learning phase, other
Hmm.
one is the earning phase, and the third one is the returning phase.
Okay.
Now I explain this how these phases are. When I talk about learning phase is generally from 0 to 5 years, and
Okay.
earning is like, I mean to say, 0 in the sense when you start your career. Let's suppose if you're starting your career at the age of 25, 25 to 30 is your learning, and earning is from 5 to 15 years, that is from 30 to 45 years, and
Okay.
returning is from 15 plus years, which starts maybe in this example from 45 year onwards.
Okay.
Most of the time, what happens when we start our career, the current generation or most of the people, they look at how much I am earning
Right.
rather than looking at it what I am learning.
Hmm.
Invest your time for the first 5 years in learning,
Okay.
and after 5 years, then your focus should shift towards earning.
Right.
That is over the period of 10 years. By then, you got settled, you know what you need to do, you have a clarity. Then, from 15 plus year onwards, you can think whatever you want to do. I can give you I can give example of myself correlating to this.
Okay.
After completing my education, I got an opportunity either to work in any large corporates or large MNCs, or to work like companies like Just Dial. Nowadays,
Hmm.
we heard about this startup company, etc., only for last 10, 12 years. When we
Right.
started about our career, for example, when I started my career, or when your dad started his career, you must have never heard about startup company,
Hmm.
right? So
Right.
it's a new, we used to say that it's small organization, new organization, upcoming organization, etc. So I thought that in case if you go and join any large organization, then you will not get an opportunity to explore your talent. There are certain policies which have been already tabled. You just need to follow this.
Hmm.
But whereas in case if you can join the organizations which are small or which are upcoming, which has a good future, what happens is you get an opportunity to work very closely with each and every department, and your learning curve would be much faster compared to a working in a corporate. So the
Okay.
first 5 years I choose that ki learning is important rather than earning. Since I choose learning is important than earning, it has helped me. And where the first 5 years I was able to build a foundation, then moved to an CXO role, etc., for about 8 10 years. That's where, if you look at it, I was there with Justdial for 16 years. Post that, I started my own career. So that's
Okay.
15 plus is a returning phase.
Okay.
So that's how I say that this is a three bucket career strategy which people should uh, follow it, which will help them in the long term.
Right. That was really great. I'll keep that in mind. So, do you read books?
Uh, well, I'm not that great fan about books, but yes, I do read books. Uh, yes, at times I do read books.
So, is there any book that you would suggest that has like catched your thoughts? Something where you have learned from it?
Yeah, so basically, in case since we are talking more on the finance side,
Hmm.
if you ask me where in case if people wanted to learn something on the finance side, I suggest that there is one book by Morgan Housel. It talks about the psychology of money.
Okay.
The biggest takeaways from that book would be financial success is not about intelligence, it's about behavior, it's about
Okay.
patience, it's about consistency,
Right.
and it teaches you the silly stupid mistakes what we make in our day-to-day life while investing. But yes, in case if you ask me from the corporate side, which is the one book which people should refer, I think it's a Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
And what I believe is it's a leadership manual.
Okay. So, what have you
Everything,
taken from that book?
I'll tell you, everything Arjuna faces on the battlefield is what we face in our corporate life. Maybe the
Okay.
pressure, the confusion, the politics, the deadlines, expectations, and self doubt. These all nothing but on a day to day life you are going to implement this in your corporate career.
Okay. Right.
And more importantly, the emotional stability, the emotions. You have an emotion.
Thank you so much. Can you, in these 5 minutes, teach me a concept related to finance?
Yeah, why not? So the simple thing, and like which you must have heard it on a day-to-day basis, but the one thing what it requires is like consistent and patience. Have you heard about this 30 30 30 strategy or the rule?
No.
So 30 30 rule, what it says is like whatever you're earning,
Hmm.
30% you need to utilize it for your needs,
Okay.
and 30% for your wants, and compulsorily you need to invest at least 30%, and
Okay.
the 10% is like emergency buffer or emergency fund which you can utilize it. What happens is in case if you start practicing this at the age of 20, and the moment you reach 40, it will give you a lot of financial stability, financial abundance, how the money compounds on its own. But yes, in
Okay.
case if you are looking for something non-financial, have you heard about something called as teach back?
Teach bank. That's a
Teach
new
back.
term.
Okay. So what I suggest is whenever you learn anything,
Right.
Teach it to someone in 2 minutes.
Okay, teach back. Right.
That forces clarity, you get clarity, it improves your memory, and it builds
Hmm.
confidence. It's the
Yeah.
faster way to master any subject.
Hmm. I agree.
Other one is like, since the moment you start your journey, before spending, start investing. And after, if, let's suppose if your strategy is okay, let me invest X amount every month. First invest, with the rest of the money you start spending, not the other way around, where you spend first, and in case if there is any balance left, then you invest.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. This was such a great insight.
Thank you,
I
thank you
have
very much.
taken away a lot of things from this. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.